This is Tower Dive, a League of Legends podcast.
Welcome to Tower Dive, the podcast about League of Legends.
Yeah.
We are the voice of the people because we are the people. I am Captain Hooks.
I'm Pan the Man.
With me, as always, is Pan the Man.
I jumped right in there.
You really just stepped,
I interrupted
right
you.
on. You're very excited. That's okay.
I'm super excited.
Too.
It's our first one.
This is our first podcast.
Yeah, it's our pilot.
None of you know that we had a podcast prior to this.
We
and
did.
And we know none of you know because we didn't have any views.
It was bad.
Or listeners, actually. You can't see
I
a
listened
podcast.
to it. It was bad.
I listened to it after the fact when I decided we wanted to do this, and I learned from our mistakes, and I hope you have done the same.
So many mistakes.
But yeah, so like I said, this is Tower Dive. Basically, the format's going to be, we talk all things League of Legends, because that's what we do, that's what we play, that's what we like to talk about, and who doesn't have an opinion on League of Legends?
Nobody. Everyone has an opinion.
Everybody has an opinion.
Yeah.
I know because I read Reddit.
Yeah, too much.
So, as I said, I am Captain Hooks. I am an ADC main currently. I reside in Bronze 2, but I am in my promos. The goal is to eventually make my way out of it. Having a child makes it very difficult to play as much as I would like to.
I'm Pan the Man. I am in Gold 5. I made it out of Bronze because I don't have a child. And that
Congratulations.
is super great.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my daughter. I hate being in Bronze.
Yeah, it's the worst. It's the piss.
It is not fun.
Yep.
So basically, since this is our first show, we're just kind of give an overview, basically. We cherry-pick topics from Reddit, basically everything you guys want to hear, and what we want to hear. Anything we deem important that seems to get a lot of heat on all the social medias in the interwebs, be it LCS, playoffs, any sort of things that pop up that are controversial,
Drama.
usually dealing with Richard Lewis and or Thorin. They seem to be at the heart of most controversies anyway, but that's because they do their due diligence, let's be fair.
Sometimes.
Guys like them, they do, well, listen, they do the legwork to get the information, and then, then they also add their opinions, which sometimes we don't appreciate, but it is what it is. But so tonight, we are going to dive right into the playoffs, both NA and EU. We may even mention a little bit of the Korean scene. I'm not sure if we'll have time.
I am not fresh with the Korean scene.
I mean, I'm on it, but it's a lot. But I mean, really, the Korean scene is it's like 4 teams and then the rest of them. But I'm jumping ahead. We're talking about the playoffs. We will talk about the What the Fast controversy.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on with that.
Definitely. It's not a fun topic on Reddit right now.
Some interesting ththings. Heads are rolling.
Oh, yeah, and people are stepping down. Yeah, people are walking away from it. We'll bring up the tank meta, the whole Cinderhulk enchant. Is this the death of the all-in ADC? Or, are we going to go back to the I have to sit in the back and hope nobody sees me kind of mode?
Little solo queue news.
Right, and then, and we'll basically take it from there. Those are the big points that we're going to hit today. So, let's just dive right into it, frankly.
Let's do it.
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
I am excited. I don't know about you. This is LCS is great, but this is what I live for. I don't know about you.
I love the playoffs. They actually feel meaningful. It's a lot of games during the split. It's a lot of games, and not all, the most important game of your life.
Well, I mean, now, especially since they changed sort of the way the LCS worked this year, they did away with the Super Week.
Yeah.
And because they have more teams. So more teams means more competition. It means maybe TSM won't finish in the top 3, but they did.
Damn it.
For all those TSM fans out there that cheer when you kill a ward, congratulations to you. Your horse has so far won the race.
Ooh.
As for after TSM, obviously we go to C9.
Which is good. I'm happy that they at least made it to place 2. I was nervous at the beginning of that split.
I like C9.
C9's my team, man.
Nothing about C9 impressed me this season.
I followed them since they were Quantic.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I know you are not a bandwagoner. You definitely are you've been there all along. So
Yeah.
more power to you. I loved C9 the way they played. I just feel like now they're just not impressive. I don't know. Is it me? Have I become so jaded in my viewing of League of Legends that now when I see them play and they don't stomp all over teams, I'm just kind of like, meh, whatever.
I'm just glad that other teams are up on their level. That there's actually competition when you see a C9 game. I kind of stopped watching them for a while because every C9 game was such a raffle stomp. It almost wasn't worth watching. But now, now I can root for them again because they're the underdogs.
Now they're no longer the team that's like 27-2 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically that's the top of. That's the top of your food chain right now. Is TSM, C9. They have their first round buys in the playoffs. TSM rolled through the first half of the season, and then kind of, I don't know if they got full of themselves after IEM. They were on top of the world, but I think they got a
little complacent. I think that's all it was.
I think that they thought that they were world champions after
IEM.
IEM.
Might have thought that.
I mean, we did. We beat Chinese teams. Look, there's no Koreans around. We're on the top of the hill. That was an anthill you're standing on, though. It's IEM.
Didn't they beat? They beat a Korean team. They broke their streak. They beat Tigers.
They didn't beat the Tigers.
They beat Tigers.
No, dude. Tigers lost to World Elite. They did not. They beat the I don't know who they beat.
They beat a Korean team.
CJ Entis.
They beat CJ Entis. That's
CJ
what it is.
Entis, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about them because they are so not relevant right now.
Yeah.
But again, we'll get back to that. But yeah, so TSM, top of the food chain, hasn't looked great, but has looked good enough. I personally dislike Dyrus as a player entirely. I think he is the single most overrated player potentially in the world.
He has
right
his
now.
moments.
Yeah, but most of his moments suck.
Okay.
People. I listen, and if Reddit gets a hold of this, I will be burned at the stake because I dislike Dyrus and I have voiced my opinion of it. But I just don't. I mean, he's like a big, complacent jackass.
I don't know. I don't know if complacent is the right word, but the dude, he plays the meta. He figures out what the meta is, and then that's all he does, and then he plays that meta.
He is the least exciting player to watch play. I would rather watch Chris from boring. Coast than watch Dyrus.
Yeah.
He is, but TSM, let's be fair, they're not the TSMs of old. I mean, they're, Bjergsen and Santorin, that's the Danish Mafia is running train on all teams. Turtle is allowed to play crazy and mental and do stupid things and not have to worry about it. And, let's be fair, Lustboy is the glue that holds that team together.
He really is.
Since they've got...
Bear, keeps everyone safe.
He's like where, Turtle's like, hey, I'm going to do something stupid. Lustboy, I feel like, is like, hey there, big fella. Let's just rein it in a little bit. Let's bring it back. You don't have to flash that wall. There's no reason to.
But I feel like if he, can't even rein it in and Turtle does flash that wall, Lustboy's right there behind him. He flashed that wall too. Right?
No, Lustboy's all team, and that's what I love. Listen, he's like, all right, if you're gonna flush your head down that toilet, I'm in the stall right next to you, flushing my head there, right with you. And that's awesome. That's what you want in a great support, and I think that's what he's been.
Yeah.
So like I said, like we said here, they're in first place. They have the first round bye, and they will play the winners of Team Liquid and
TSM. TSM plays the winners of Impulse and Gravity.
Do they play the Impulse of Gravity? Oh, okay.
Yeah, they play against
Impulse
and Gravity.
Impulse and Gravity. These are two teams. Now,
I think
love
it's going to be a
Impulse.
good game.
I love Team Impulse, and I don't even know why. For some reason, I think at the beginning of the season they were so middle of the road, and everyone was like, "Oh, Xiao, LMQ, this team dominated, and now they have all these new guys," and then they kind of sucked.
Yeah, in the beginning.
Yeah,
it was almost a whole new roster, right? It was Xiao's the only remaining LMQ player.
Yeah, the rest of them went back to China or retired or what have you. So it's a whole new roster. Xiao stayed. They gave him. He had Apollo, who used to be Wiz Fusion.
Is that who that is?
Yeah, that's Wiz Fusion.
Oh man,
which is
Talk
amazing.
about rebranding.
Right. Well, his name Wiz Fusion was so I hated it. I always thought it was a stupid name.
Bad, stupid
and
name.
people were like, "Your real name is Apollo." And he's like, "Yeah, dude,
that's a good username.
You're sitting on a gold mine of a name."
Right.
So he changed his name, rebranded himself. They put him in the bottom lane with Adrian. Who, interesting note about Adrian, he was the first person to get a scholarship to college for League of Legends.
Oh, yeah, to that shitty for-profit school.
Well, it's Robert Morris, I think.
Yeah, it was a shitty for-profit school.
They're not a shitty for-profit school.
It's a degree mill, man. You go in there, you pay a whole lot of money, you come out with a bachelor's degree.
I can say that about a lot of colleges. But, regardless, the funny thing about that is, so he was the first guy they gave, like the first high-profile player they gave a scholarship to, went to Robert Morris, was on their team, 2 months later went pro. Left the school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, good on him. Good on him, but excellent support. And just ask him; he'll tell you he is super confident, cocky. Really very good, but super cocky. But I mean, I love their team. I love Rush because Rush doesn't do with the conventions. I love it. I love players that buck what everyone else is doing, and Rush is in your face almost to a fault. But it's great, and I love how they play. And with Impact from SKT, manning the top lane, really found himself again. He looked a little awkward in the beginning. Didn't look like he was comfortable, but they got their manager living with them now, and I mean,
he was coming off a pretty shitty season from the was it Champions last season too.
Oh yeah, that whole team though was I think
kind of imploded.
Yeah, it was one of those situations where I think they stuck around too long.
Yeah,
they were a great team.
They won a world championship.
They were drunk with power, and everything fell apart. But like I said, Impulse is my dark horse. I love the way that they play, and they play Gravity. And I know you're down on the Gravity, but I can't stand St. Vicious or Cop. So I
like St. Vicious, and I like Cop too. I don't know why. So Gravity's like almost the opposite of Team Impulse. They're so standard. That's all they do is they play safe and they play standard. And
St. Vicious has to be stoked that the tank jungle is coming back.
Yeah, he only plays Nunu. That's the only champ. He's got to have 2 smites. He needs it.
Well, doesn't he get 3 now? Because don't you get 2 smites?
Well, there's a cooldown on the second one. So.
Well, I know, but saying he's got his consume.
Like 2.5.
He needs as many smites as you could possibly give a human being. If they put an item in the game that gave another smite, he would buy it even if it didn't matter.
Yeah. Even if he didn't want to, his coach would be like, "You gotta buy that item. You need that."
So they have Cop.
Yeah, Cop, Saint, Keen in the mid lane, who I really enjoy.
I do like Keen. I have to say, I feel bad that Keen is on a team that is associated with Curse, but I think Keen is a really good player, and but the thing is, I feel like as he goes, Gravity goes.
You also have Hanzer too, and Hanzer's really been showing up lately.
Hanzers are definitely solid. I like this new influx of top laners in America that aren't American. Yeah. Because let's be fair, top lane, especially last season, was the most boring thing in the world.
Except for Zion would have sometimes do some cool stuff. But
exactly, but Zion was the only true carry top laner outside of maybe Balls.
And teams wouldn't even let him carry.
No, they pigeonholed, put square peg in a round hole, all of these good aggressive top laners, and like, here, play Mundo.
I don't want to play Mundo.
And I'm not going to lie, I see people pick Mundo, and my shoulders sag, and I get sad.
You can carry his Mundo in the Yoda.
I just don't like to see him.
He's not
I'm
fun to watch.
Bored of Mundo.
Not fun to watch. That's why I don't like Zed anymore. I don't think Zed's that fun to watch.
No, he's really not. So anyway, we have TSM is going to play the winner of Gravity and Impulse. I think Impulse takes it.
I think Gravity shows up and takes it.
It must suck being
I think
wrong.
Their standard safe play and rotations are actually going to be able to outplay Impulse.
I see. I completely disagree with that. I think bucking the meta and being super aggressive and kind of unpredictable. I think they're unpredictable.
I don't think it wins you series.
I think the unpredictability of it is gonna mess with. It's gonna mess with them. But the one thing that it's actually really funny because let me step back a second. If you look at those two teams, every single lane couldn't be any different.
I know. It's going to be a really interesting game.
Zhao is not aggressive in mid lane. He's a very good farmer. He's a very good farmer. He makes great plays, but he's very reserved. Yeah. He's very composed when he plays. He's very standard, Chinese player. Very difficult to kind of, shake.
Yeah.
Whereas Keen...
Although he used to play Yasuo when Yasuo was strong.
Oh, he still plays Yasuo, even when Yasuo's not strong.
Yeah, that's like his champion. Like, if he went to Worlds, we get a Yasuo skin out of it.
Yeah, great. Can you sense my excitement? But Kane is so completely different. He plays the weirdest champions in mid.
Yeah, well, he plays what Faker plays in solo queue.
Well, yeah,
I think that's a great way to go about, winning the North American scene.
I like when these North American teams are like, no, we don't use Korea as our benchmark. We come up with our own metas. What are you, stupid?
Well, there's definitely a Korean influence.
Oh no, but what I'm saying is like people try and pretend like they don't. Let's be fair.
No, they do. You have
to. If you're getting paid to do this, no one cares that you think it's really good that you want to play, champion X in mid. Yeah. If Faker's playing this champion in mid and he's dominating, yeah, watch, figure it out, learn how to do it, and then dominate yourself.
That champion, yeah. Although North America brought Nautilus support onto the scene.
Yeah,
that was all us, baby.
America. I know, which I like him, but I mean he obviously has his downside, but I do like him because he is so tanky, it's scary.
He's so tanky, it's amazing, and that shield gets so big late game.
So now the other end of it is the other end of the playoffs in NA would be who is it?
CLG and Team Liquid.
That's right, CLG. Yeah. How do I forget about CLG? Because everyone does.
They're my second favorite team.
CLG and Team Liquid. Now, Team Liquid.
Ugh.
Oh, what do I gotta say about these guys?
Let me put a disclaimer up about Team Liquid. I have hated Team Liquid for so long. Since my StarCraft Brood War days. I have not liked Team Liquid. They're so snooty and snotty, and they think they were God's gift to StarCraft. And to be fair, in the beginning, they kind of were. They were the only, scene where North Americans could have access to the Korean Brood War scene. So, it was like this really great portal that was the only place that existed to get StarCraft Brood War information.
I remember that.
And it just grew from there. But now, I don't know, the way they run their business is just so old. Thorin did a whole thing on this, and I absolutely
I remember that.
It was amazing. If you, I can't remember what the name of this, but check out that Thorin Team Liquid. It was when they first bought their League of Legends team. That video was amazing.
No, I remember watching it. It was really, really good. I like a lot of things Thorin says, though. So
I like him now. I didn't like him at first.
Well, maybe you just become immune to his weirdness. But
but I've always been an EG fan. Always been a Team Liquid hater.
But anyway, so Team Liquid. I have been vocal on my blog about this team and my strong dislike for them. Number one, I love Quas. I feel bad that Quas is on that team. I feel like he is misused. I wish he was on a team that was not Liquid or Curse-related.
He seems cowed lately, like they've finally broken him.
They probably did.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because I loved Quas because Quas would do things that no one would do in top lane.
He was really off meta.
And that was great. And which made no sense when Curse picked him up because Curse is like so meta that it's like alpha.
That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all, and neither does anything that Curse/Team Liquid does.
They're so meta, they're having existential crises.
Exactly. So that was intense.
Yeah, right?
So
that was good.
Yeah, that was.
Write
I like that. Sure. So anyway, so they have Quas. I like Quas. I feel bad for Quas. Now, mid lane, they have Link. No, Link is CLG. Phoenix. They have Phoenix. That's right, Phoenix.
He's a good player.
I like Phoenix.
Yeah.
he fits Liquid very well because he's very vanilla. He's a good player. There's nothing flashy about him.
His
nothing
champion pool's shallow, but he makes solid plays.
He's got a bit of a champion puddle.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, solid player, not fancy, not exciting, not sexy.
But I'm looking count on him.
I'm looking for sexy. All right. I want something that's gonna, I'm gonna get sweats in the night thinking about it, kind of thing, right? That's where I'm at.
Change your underpants halfway through.
A little bit. You never know, man. It's the playoffs. Come on. If it's the playoffs. If you can't look for sexy, then you shouldn't be watching the playoffs. So anyway, so Team Liquid. So you have Phoenix in the mid. You've got Quas in the top. I like both of these guys. I hate that they're on the team. You've got passive-aggressive Vic Special.
Yeah.
Just, I'm not even going to say anything more about him. You've got...
Just watch one of his vlogs.
Yeah,
I mean, he's so passive-aggressive about everything. He's the kind of guy that leaves Post-it notes on dirty dishes asking other people to wash it for him.
Right. My favorite player, I Will Dominate. You talk about a guy who he gets so many internet handies, and I can't understand why. I can't understand. I watch him play. He is bad. He's a bad player. And listen, I'm not a pro. I am in high bronze. I take my opinion for what it is. If you don't like it, that's fine. I watch him play. Nothing he does impresses me. But that's not even the problem. He's got a big mouth.
Yeah, huge mouth and head.
For a guy who is, in my opinion, a mediocre jungler at best.
And shot caller, too. He's supposed to be the shot caller for Liquid, right? Isn't that his whole shtick? That he's supposed to be strategic?
He's the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak, and the drink has gone flat. He is a miserable player, and as far as I'm concerned, once a troll, always a troll.
I agree with that.
And my big problem with it comes from, I am not in love with Piglet. I don't love Piglet as an ADC or as a player because, first of all, also really trolly. I mean, in terms of bad attituded Korean players, he's top of the list.
It's pretty bad.
He is noted for having a bad attitude, but okay, let's put that aside. He came to America because Team Liquid threw a bunch of money at him and nobody else wanted him.
Which is strange. You would think people would.
Yeah, call it what it is. Nobody else in Korea wanted him. So he comes to America, a country he does not speak the language of.
Not even a little bit.
Not even the smallest bit. Does not speak English. Comes to a team where they don't even attempt to try and teach him, or work with him in a way that he would understand better. It's like, okay, you're an ADC, we all speak English, work with pings.
Well, they got him a translator, and they got him English lessons.
But the translator's not always there. But the thing is like, you watch these guys...
Translator's not on comms.
No. It's just such a bad situation. So after the first weeks... And he was doing terrible.
Well, he didn't play. Let's go back. He didn't play in the first week.
Well, because he wasn't here.
He was in Korea working on his visa issue. So they had Keith McBrief play their sub, and nobody expected anything out of Keith. And Keith showed up and just fucking blew up.
Yeah, Keith played a great game.
KDA,
more power
really
to him.
Great games.
Keith's a good player. He's a nice player.
Yeah, but he was also against weaker teams. That week.
And
I think people looked too much into it.
The problem isn't with Keith McBrief, or the problem isn't even with Piglet. No. The problem is with this Team Liquid picks up this superstar, rockstar AD carry, world champion, one half of the 100-acre lane, and he struggles. Yeah. And he struggles mightily. And the first thing that they can say is the reason we're doing bad is Piglet.
Yeah, that's like
Dominate and X Special immediately point the fingers, saying, "Well, it's different with Keith. With Piglet, we can't.
They didn't even say it's different. They said it's better with Keith.
Yeah, we can't make the same plays with Piglet. So you're gonna blame this guy because of your shortcomings as players? Yeah. I don't understand that. I've played with a million supports as an AD carry. I've played with terrible supports and made the best of it, and I've played with great supports when I was playing bad. A great support will make you better. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you play the game smart, a great support will only make you better. If X Special, who considers himself a great support, who the internet considers this god-tier support...
Yeah, he's really good mechanically.
He's not really good.
Mechanically.
When you watch him play in these Liquid games, he is terrible. And it's only when Piglet plays.
Yeah.
It's like they're trying to set him up. Like, I was watching the game yesterday.
Like a conspiracy.
Yeah, I'm watching the game yesterday.
Boys.
I'm watching yesterday, and Piglet's making these plays and dominate. And especially, legitimately, I think they had popcorn and were watching.
Yeah. I watched that tiebreaker game. Oh, we can go into this after you finish. This is a whole other thing. You go ahead and finish, and we'll go into tiebreaker.
I was just wrapping it up because I don't want it to go on too long for this because we have other stuff to get to. But it's just I just can't stand it. They blame all their problems on Piglet. Piglet, yes, is part of the problem, is not the problem. It's their team. It's their philosophy.
It's the
this is a team I don't feel deserves to be in the playoffs.
No,
and I know that they're there because they made they have the numbers to get in.
Yeah, they won the games.
I just cannot get behind them. I cannot get behind them.
I think I have trouble just getting behind Dominic Special. I mean, I like Piglet. I don't necessarily like him as a person. I like him as a player, and I like watching him stream because he's so freaking good. Like,
I feel bad for him. I just genuinely feel bad for him.
He's so good. He never misses a skill shot.
But we're getting off a little too far. A little like my personal feelings started to trickle into. We're talking about the playoffs. I'm gonna grab it. Yeah, I'm gonna grab it in the air and I'm gonna pull it back down because we're talking playoffs. We're talking playoffs.
About CLG now.
We're gonna talk about CLG. Yeah. They're no longer Double Lift's team. They are now CLG.
They're an actual team. They're a real life big boy team.
Although I still have my feelings about Link that I'd rather see him play Hearthstone than League of Legends.
Yeah, but he's okay.
No, he's okay.
Not everyone on a team is going to be the faker of the team. You can really only have the one faker at a time, and then you got to have the rest of the team kind of lift that person up per game, not necessarily per split or per season, but you have to kind of pick that person that's doing well and support them, and that's not always Link.
I agree. Link has his
moments.
It's not
Link.
Link has his moments, and I liked last season when all of a sudden Link blew up. People were like, "Oh my God, Link is like amazing now. What happened?" Because Lulu was a good champion.
That's why support champions. You know what the really ironic part is? Is CLG has spent all this time developing their team to be not around Double Lift, and now is the time when you really want to protect the ADC comp.
The game has totally reverted to...
It's totally changed to the Kog'Maw Jinx protect the carry, and now that's just not CLG's game anymore.
No, it's really not. I do love Afromu. I don't think in America, as far as Americans go, we're not putting Lustboy in that because he's Korean.
He is Korean.
As far as American supports go, I don't think there is any better than Afromu right now.
Yeah, and I think Afromu's really good for the atmosphere too. He's supportive.
I think
he's funny. If you've ever watched him?
Oh, he's a great guy.
He's
totally
so
cool guy.
Yeah.
Not, I think Lemonation's a little rigid, so Afromu's totally
he's a little
chill
dry.
and relaxed.
He's dry toast.
Yeah,
Afro's the jam.
If Lemonation's dry toast, Afromu's a Monte Cristo.
Not
the Monte Cristo, a Monte Cristo.
I like what you did there.
Right?
I like that.
But he's
write that down.
Written down, taking notes. But yeah, I think because he's fun, he's exciting, he makes great plays, but he's not always making great plays.
Support. He tries to. He's trying to make the plays.
But I'm saying he's willing to throw himself out there. He knows his limits, but he's willing to push them as far as they'll go in order to try and make something happen. And that's all you can ask for in a player. Because listen, skill-wise, he's not the greatest support in America, but I think he understands that, and he's like, all right, well, I'm going to work with what I have. And he kills it every time.
And that he's been in interviews saying that he knows he's not the great support in North America or the world, but he says that he wants to be, and so he's actively working towards it.
And I think his relationship with Double Lift makes the big difference about it, is that they're genuinely friends.
That's important.
They're genuinely cool with each other, and I think they have such a good respect for each other and such a good kind of repertoire, repartee between each other. Not repertoire, that would have made no sense. Sort
rapport.
of a rapport. Thank you.
That's the word. Yeah.
I think repartee is something that would work, but it doesn't matter.
I don't speak French.
I don't speak French either. I just pretend like I do. But I think they have such a good rapport that it works better than a lot of the other teams.
I think their relationship is akin to Piglet and Pumandu. When they were streaming on Azubu, and someone translated their comms, and it was hilarious, and they both treated each other like children, and they both made fun of each other, and it was amazing, and it wasn't weird or awkward or passive-aggressive.
Exactly.
It was really entertaining, like, friendly... Is that a word, friendly? Stream?
I like it.
Yeah.
It works in this scenario. Yeah. But like I said, and I feel like if you look at the other teams, not a lot of other teams have that. Either because they have a new lane together, or a
lot of these teams are pretty fresh.
Yeah, or there's a cultural difference, or what have you. But I think that they have in their bottom lane what teams wish that they had in theirs is that they have a genuine synergy.
Yeah, which is why I think everyone thinks CLG has so much potential. And I hate using that word because it makes me sad when they don't live up to it.
I mean, I think that they're a team that they have a great potential, despite the fact that when you look at their lanes, there's not a wealth of talent. I love Zion Spartan. I think he's a good carry top laner. I don't think Benny is the greatest jungler. He might not even be top 5, but I think he works for this team. I think what he brings to the table is exactly what CLG needs. CLG was smart. They didn't go out and find the best jungler that was. By the way. Who did I say? Benny?
You said Benny.
Benny was the top laner from. That's my mistake.
Yeah.
My B.
Yeah, Xmithy's
Xmithy, sorry. Everything I said, put Xmithy's name in it.
Yeah, same thing.
But I think Xmithy, my mistake, I think he's exactly what they needed because they didn't go out and they didn't find the best jungler.
No,
they found the one that fit them. Yeah.
Cohered.
Instead of doing what they did last season, which
they looked for Sarah.
Well, that was their top laner.
They tried to find the best top laner available, right?
I was talking more about Udyr.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Mr. Simpson.
Please, Mr. Simpson, stop shaking me. My belly is full of chocolates. But yeah, which they went mean. With. It was mean, but whatever. He was kind of a jerk, and that's why he's currently a sub right now.
Yeah.
But anyway. Yeah, so I like that. I like their team. I think they have a chance. I think because they looked at what would make them the best team, not putting the best player they could find and plopping him in their team and go, all right, do your thing, Dexter.
I feel like they did what Fnatic ended up doing better, kind of rebuilding their team a little bit.
Beautiful segue, because that brings us to E.
Well, we didn't talk about Cloud9 at all. Well, we did a little bit.
We did. We talked about Cloud9. What's to talk about Cloud9? I mean, they're the same team.
Yeah.
There's no difference.
High has risk problems. The end.
High has risk problems and should probably retire.
Yeah. Nah, I think that's too strong. I think he might need to coach. I don't know.
I mean, retire from playing.
I think he's got another split from him, at least.
We will see.
Yeah, we will see.
But like I said, that brings us to
the European LCS.
The European LCS, which have been exciting.
It's always exciting because all their teams...
Oh my god, last year EU was a snore fest.
The games are boring, but the rankings were always exciting. Everything's always a 7-way tie.
But this season,
EU
has been awesome.
Acidic.
EU has been exciting. Yeah. Like, there is things happening in EU which you were just like, whoa, wait a minute, what?
Good games, for the most part.
Everyone thought Fnatic was going to be trash this year.
Yeah.
So what did they do? They said Yellow Star, build as a team. Which, brilliant move. Let's be fair. Fnatic is an organization.
Yellow Star's been around for a long time. Fnatic's been around for a long time. They know what they're doing.
Exactly. I said a well-run organization.
Yeah.
Polar opposite to the way Liquid runs their show. Fnatic was like, Yellow Star, you've been to Worlds every year of your career. You're an excellent support. You reinvented yourself as a support from an ADC. Build us a team. We trust your opinions.
You know what he didn't do? He didn't hire Tabs.
No, and that's exactly what everyone expected him to do.
Didn't fall into that trap.
No, he was like, you know what? I found when we were boot camping in Korea, I found this top laner and this jungler that I think are great. So Huni and Reignover, come on down. What do they do? Dominate the scene.
Oh my god, people were saying Reignover game over because they thought he was so bad.
Yeah.
And that was not the case.
Those people are idiots.
So wrong.
Huni, I have the biggest man crush on.
You got such a boner for him.
Oh my god, how could you not?
I think he's funny. I don't have a bony macaroni for him.
Through his personality, that's just icing on the cake. The dude reinvented top lane. There is nobody doing
strong.
what he does.
Yeah, the Koreans are.
No. We're not. No. I don't mean in the entirety of League. I mean in the EU NA scene.
Yeah, he took the Korean carry top lane style and brought it to Europe because.
Yeah, they brought Koreans over that haven't done that, and yet he's the Korean that did. Impact's not doing that.
He's trying to. He was playing Rumble.
Yeah, but that's already been done, man.
But I feel like
him busting out the Hecarim top lane. Come on, dude! I saw the Hecarim top lane come out. I was excited. Yeah, I know it does in Korea, but that's what I'm saying. I'm excited because it came to EU. Yeah. And nobody thought about it. They were like, all right, we're going to ban out his Lysandra. They're going to ban out his Rumble. He's screwed. All right, I'm going to bust out Hecarim. And everyone's like, Hecarim? What's this all about? Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I'm going to, stuff my spear up your butt.
Yeah.
and carry as hard as humanly possible.
Yeah. How many times has Tiger played Hecarim top and won it?
No, I know. I'm just saying. It was awesome to see. But
I don't think it's that special.
I think it's very special since people have now attempted to do it in both NAEU to not even close the same kind of results.
Because they're playing it wrong.
Well, yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. It's a weird niche, awesome, hard to play champion.
It's actually akin to the Fnatic double teleport, where Fnatic was the only team that could really pull it off.
Yeah.
It's a super kind of weird way of playing where you have to get a super fast home guard boots. And you have to time your back so that you can teleport into a fight with Home Guard and do crazy amounts of damage because Hecarim gets more damage based on his speed.
Exactly. So it's awesome. Like I said, I love
cool
Huni.
Play. It's a really cool play. It's always exciting to see you too.
I love Huni. I love Reignover. I think they were great additions. But they didn't just stop there. They could have picked up Tabs. Tabs was totally an available ADC. They said, no, you know what? I heard, I saw this guy play. If people have told me about him. This guy Steelback. I heard he's pretty good. Steelback, not gonna lie, not the greatest ADC in the world. His early game struggles almost all the time. But you know what he doesn't do? Doesn't feed.
Yep.
Doesn't die. Mid game, all of a sudden, guy shows
Yellow Star lead the way.
Yeah. Takes cues from him.
Yeah.
Does not. He shows up when the game needs him.
Yeah.
He's a poised player, and I have to respect that.
Poised, yeah, that's good. That's important, especially in a bot lane in Europe right now, because there's a lot of really strong bot
he's
lanes.
a guy that Quickshot seems to have no love for, and I know you have no love for Quickshot.
I have no love for Quickshot. He's the worst. We can talk about that later.
Yeah, but he is, like I said, I love Steelback, I think has been great, which brings us to the final piece, which is Fabivin. Which Fabivin was, who is he? I don't even remember who he was on.
Stevens. That's who he is.
He is even Steven. No, but he was on, was it like MYM?
I thought he was on H2K.
Giants?
He was on
H2K. He was on, it was one of those teams, yeah. And Fnatic was like, hey, we'd love for you to play with us. And he's like, all right, I'm done. Let's do it. And, I mean, that dude can get some kills, man.
He can fucking play, and he doesn't die. That's like his whole thing, is that he just doesn't.
He is such a smart player.
Yeah. And handsome.
Listen, very good-looking man.
Yeah, he's no Xpeke, but he's handsome.
Well, I mean, really, how many of us are?
Yeah,
I mean,
true.
Sex Peke is the good-looking man.
Yeah. Oh, he was. He was on H2K Gaming. He left, and H2K picked up Ryu. Yeah.
Yeah. But that, like I said, I mean, that's a team that people looked at this roster and was like, two Koreans, former H2K player in the challenger scene.
Not just two Koreans. An English-speaking Korean and a totally non-English-speaking Korean. So at the beginning of the split, they would have to make a call, and then Reignover would have to translate that call to Huni so that he could follow up.
But I love it.
Yeah.
They're very exciting. I hope
I love
that they
their
win.
Games. Their games are always really exciting.
Their games are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They finished second. First place, team I don't love and don't have
the team.
A great deal of love for. I liked the team when they had Candy Panda. It's SK Gaming.
I loved Candy Panda. He was adorable.
I think Candy Panda got such a raw deal.
He really did. He carried that team, too. The only reason SK is still in this split is because of Candy Panda last season.
Yeah, but Candy Panda caught a raw deal in the playoffs, and everyone's like, "Oh, Candy Panda's not that good.
Yeah,
we're not going to bring him back," and they didn't. Yeah. But so they picked up Forgiven. I know you love Forgiven.
He's the worst.
He's a great player. I just can't stand him.
Yeah, I'll say something about Forgiven. I love watching Forgiven play. He is textbook ADC. He's never out of position.
He's a machine.
he sees the plays and he makes the plays. He doesn't hesitate. The dude is cold, but he's such an asshole. I wouldn't want to play with him. You couldn't pay me to play with him.
If you want to learn how to play ADC, you watch Forgiven play. Yeah. If you want to learn how to be a human being, don't ever look at anything Forgiven does.
Just don't read anything about him.
Just don't even look up. Don't look him up.
Yeah.
Dude, he's not a great dude.
If you want to learn how to get chat restricted,
that's your guy. Go right to him.
Check out Forgiven. Yeah.
Their mid laner, Fox, a rookie this year.
Yeah, played ball.
I like him. Him.
He's good. I mean, he makes plays when he needs to.
Yeah,
he's consistent.
He can be exciting. He's not,
nothing player.
Yeah, nothing spectacular, but he brings a lot to the table. Freddy 1-2-2 in the top lane. I like Freddy.
He's okay.
He's a little inconsistent.
Yeah.
He's one of those sink or swim top laners where he'll have like one of those games where he's like 6-2, and then he'll have one of those games.
They do the Freddy feature
0-4. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of here and there. What is their support? Is that N-rated, right?
N-rated is their support, yeah.
I like N-rated.
Solid player. He's there for the team.
Nothing special.
Yeah.
He's not exciting or sexy. He's solid player. Brings yeoman's work. Puts his hard hat on and goes to work every day.
Yeah.
Typical guy. So those are your two your buys in the first rounds. Oh, did I forget about Svenskeren? That's right, Svenskeren.
The interesting thing about SK is if you watch them play, they play the same game every single time, which is probably why they're doing so well. Is that they do this one play style and they're super good at it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always a fast push style where they can get the outer towers really quickly, and then they can just start rotating around the map, kind of as a unit, taking a tower, winning a team fight, getting a dragon, taking a tower, winning a team fight, getting a dragon.
Yeah.
And it's just a train. Once it gets moving, it's really, really difficult to stop. But if you can't get, if you stop that train from getting out of the station, then it's not going anywhere.
Or you can just do what the Southeast Asian teams did and ban Graves and Lucian. And watch Forgiven sweat like nobody's business.
The thing is, they did that. A European team did that, and
I know.
Ended up picking up Caitlyn, and they just said, "Okay, we'll just do the same strat with Caitlyn," and it worked really, really well.
Well, I know. Yeah. I'm just saying it was fun to see it happen. But anyway,
SK is a team that knows where their carries are. They know that Svenskeren and Forgiven are going to carry them, and they always play to that strength.
Well, that's what they have to do, and then it's Fox is there to kind of pick up the pieces if something goes wrong.
Yeah,
which is great. I mean, it's great that they have that sort of Plan B, we'll call it.
Yeah.
So the winner,
shitty players, not shitty players, but I hate Forgiven. The end. Sorry, moving on.
That's quite all right. So SK will face the winner of Gambit Gaming, and LCS darlings, the Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, I love the Unicorns. I love them and I hate them.
Everyone does. Gambit Gaming, I'm just going to go quick on Gambit Gaming because there's really not a lot to talk about.
Rocky start.
Rough start. The switch from when they moved out. Who is their mid laner? I know it's Betsy now.
Nick,
thank you.
Yeah.
I knew it was 3 letters. When they moved out Nick, which sucks that's how he lost his job.
Yeah.
But listen,
he wasn't performing. You know.
Well, he was sick, which why he had to miss a game.
Europe,
but it happens.
Cutthroat.
It happens. So Gambit,
especially in mid lane, because Europe is just lousy with mid laners.
The good ones are good. The bad ones are bad.
I mean, lousy as in there's a lot of them.
Oh yeah, lousy in that regard. But so Gambit, I like Pinoy. I think he's synergizing. Pinoy. I think he's synergizing well with Edward. I'm happy to see Edward kind of finally get an ADC that he likes.
Yeah.
It was headaches and heartaches with between Genja and Cop and all the other ADCs he's been dealing with. But he seems to have gotten somebody that sort of fits his play, and it shows because dude is still one of the best supports in the world.
He's very good.
He still got it.
Smart, knows the game really well.
Definitely good player, and then Diamond. I know Diamond is itching to get back to Worlds because since M5, Gambit hasn't been the same. And then in the top lane,
Alex Eash left too. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and then in the top lane they have Cabishard, who's a good player.
Yeah,
nice player. Can't really say a lot about him.
He can carry.
Makes plays. Makes the plays. Unicorns of Love. Now, the big thing about the Unicorns of Love, and that everyone always talks about, is how off meta they are.
They're so weird.
It's like they are trying to not play the champions that everyone's used to seeing.
I think at this point they are trying.
Exactly. I think they just and in some cases that's a great thing. In another case, that's kind of a bad strategy.
Falls really flat.
Yeah. It's great that Kickus can play, Twisted Fate in the jungle.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
No. Well, I want to see it, but I want to see it on like a show match. I don't want to see it when, their careers are on the line.
Yeah, when you're playing for money, man.
Yeah.
But I like Kickus. I think he's a good player. I like Power of Evil a lot. They're not, it's funny. They're a very sexy team in the eyes of like marketing because everyone loves them and their name.
They're new.
They're not.
They upset.
They're not an exciting team to watch.
Sometimes they are.
They can't. It's a weird excitement. It's kind of an excitement. Yeah.
You get really excited when Vivichachi picks Poppy because you never get to see Poppy in the
That's
top
what I'm saying.
lane,
They're
and
exciting.
you're expecting a lot, and it's still Poppy.
They're exciting
really
in their
anything.
They're exciting in their picks but their play is kind of it's good. I mean, they're a really good team. They're very skilled. They're a very skilled team, but they definitely can trip over their own feet sometimes. They think they sometimes get in their own way by trying to be so off meta.
Yeah.
H2K. Now, this is a team who I expected nothing out of, and who at the beginning of the season, I don't think anyone did when you looked at the way that they were playing.
Well, you know what happened.
Ryu looked lost.
Ryu was lost. Let's be honest. He had just come over from Korea. He was a B-lister Korea, and they came over.
Well, he was an A-lister Korea who became a B-lister in Korea.
he was in a slump when they picked him up.
Yeah.
But then they brought on Prowley and Kasing.
Yeah.
Made
a big difference.
That changed this team around and really pulled everything together.
Absolutely.
Good coach, good support, changed everything around.
I think they have a good team. I think Otoamne is a nice top laner. I think he doesn't get enough kind of praise for being as strong as he is. But they're also a team that if Otoamne can't get his champion, he is useless.
He's not useless. I mean,
when he's put on a champion he doesn't look comfortable with.
Whirlybee.
No, well, Whirlybee is completely useless.
Yeah, he only plays Jax.
That's and I feel bad for him, but that's bad that that's the only champion can play. But anyway, H2K, very good team.
Yeah.
Now my dark horse, the Copenhagen Wolves. They have a bad case of Jekyll and Hyde syndrome.
Yeah,
when
they do.
When they look good, they can beat any team in Europe.
The Wolves have been this way for a while since Bjergsen left, too. Because Bjergsen was always the shot caller for them, right? Then they kind of lost that, and they kind of had to rebuild.
Yeah, that was going way, way, way back.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, they are, like when they're good, they're amazing.
They're really good.
Upper echelon. I mean, I don't think there's a better ADC in Europe or America than Freeze right now.
He's
I think
really good.
Amazing. I mean, where you said Forgiven is textbook, Freeze is anything but he does it every single time. It just looks great when it works.
You want to talk about sexy plays? Yeah, Freeze and Unlimited. They're both together really good.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That is a nice lane. And I love Soren. I think Soren's a great mid laner.
Yeah, good playmaker.
But he is so sink or swim. But that's the whole Copenhagen Wolves, the ethos, man. That's
their whole team.
That's their mantra. It's like, we're either going to kill you or you're going to beat the crap out of us.
They're going to go hard or they're going to go home.
and that shows by their record, which was, I'm pretty sure, 500.
Yeah.
I mean, they backed into the playoffs. But, Young Bucks, rocking the feed strat in top lane, more power to him, trying to make it a thing. And then Airwalks is, again, another guy. He'll either be invisible or he'll get like 7 kills out of the jungle.
Yeah.
I think they're a fantastic team. I just don't think that they put it all together yet.
Yeah, they're working on it. I hope they don't swap the roster at all. I think they're
they're going
to need a little more stage experience.
I have a feeling that they are going to... And I think, really, they can shock a couple of teams. I think they can shock H2K.
Oh, definitely.
And while I don't want to see it, I do think that they can beat Fnatic as well.
I think they can. They have kind of a similar playstyle to Fnatic as well.
Yeah, they're all balls in. The problem with Copenhagen Wolves is I think sometimes they get scared that they're ahead.
Yeah,
when you watch
I think
them
they
play...
might get a little starstruck, too, sometimes. Like, oh, no, we're playing against Fnatic, And then they kind of get inside their heads.
I agree. They're definitely. I think they definitely kind of get themselves, and they psych themselves out.
Yeah,
they'll be like, "Oh man, we're up. Oh, we can't go for Baron right now. We can't go for Baron right now. Wait. Back off.
Don't throw.
And then they get stuck in these 57-minute games where the team comes back, and then you're going back and forth and back and forth. But I mean, that's the playoffs in a nutshell, right there.
Yeah.
You know, I mean...
You didn't want to talk about Young Buck at all?
I did. I said he got the feed strat. He's trying to make it a thing.
Young Buck feed strat.
Yeah, he's trying to make it a thing. I like... I like...
You should play Singed more often.
Right? Might as well, if you're going to do it, go with the guy who made the feed strat a thing.
Just as a bit of perspective, he has a KDA of 2.1 over the course of the split. Freeze has a KDA of 5.3, which is pretty high.
Yeah, no, Freeze is good, man. I mean, Freeze, like I said, when it all works, there's no better guy to watch than Freeze.
Right.
So that's
especially on Draven.
That's which is amazing that he's just got that pocket Draven.
Yeah,
you know, it's like you can't even ban him out because it's just like, well, who are we going to take away? It's like you can't waste a ban on Draven.
No, you can't. It's not worth it.
You're pissing it away then.
Yeah.
He just has such a deep pool of champions that he's just stellar on.
Yeah.
And it's like I said, they're my dark horse in the EU region, and Impulse is my dark horse in the NA region.
Yeah.
I do believe, unfortunately, that TSM will win in America.
Oh, God, I hope not.
I hope they don't.
I really hope not. I won't be able to get on Reddit for a week.
I think they will, and I think SK is going to win, but I hope Fnatic beats them.
I think SK is going to win. I think they're far too consistent to
they're not. Yeah, they're not. They're not in. They're definitely not.
Unless
that kind
they get
of team.
the flu again. I mean,
unless somebody spikes their water with something.
Yeah. Food poisoning.
Okay, so we're done with LCS.
That's the LCS.
That's your LCS in a nutshell. Now, what the fast?
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Let's touch on this.
Yeah.
Would you like to explain to our viewership?
I'll open this up. So this happened, a couple weeks ago?
I think not even
a couple days ago.
Not even a week ago, I don't think.
Richard Lewis, esports news journalist, who very polarizing writer in the esports community, more polarizing on League of Legends than Counter-Strike, because he fits in way better in the Counter-Strike scene. And this guy's been around forever. He's a really good writer. I rarely agree with his opinions, but when his facts are there, the facts are solid, and he always has pretty good sources. So there is a company called What the Fast, and they released an app that is supposed to allow people to streamline their service to the Riot servers. So it's supposed to lower their ping, get rid of packet loss, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it doesn't.
The only problem is it doesn't work. They described it as a private gamer network, or gamer's private network, which I think they're trying to make it sound like a VPN, but it's not. It's just an app.
Nonsense.
It's a placebo, essentially. So what ended up happening is this app came out, and people bought it, and it didn't do anything, and so they left a negative review on Steam. You know? There was a lot of negative reviews. And so what the company did is they ended up giving people free subscriptions to What the Fast for positive reviews on Steam. Essentially buying positive reviews, which is totally against the TOS. You're not supposed to do this. And Richard Lewis, and this guy Narzies, made a video. Narzies is a content creator on YouTube. Always has League of Legends. He's big on the subreddit. He made a video exposing all of this and exposing What the Fast is kind of a shitty company and how the app isn't good. And he pretty much laid out all these facts in his video. And apparently, and he posted it on Reddit, and the video got removed because it was quote unquote inciting a witch hunt.
Yeah. That was beautiful. That's my favorite part.
Yeah, so inciting a witch hunt, and then he was asking mods, and he was trying to figure out like where the witch hunt was, because the guy made the video, Narzies, and there's no witch hunt. He didn't ask anyone to.
Let's make sure though that the mod in question, Korean Terran, is the one who's at the front of this whole thing.
Yeah, he kind of spearheaded this whole shitstorm, and it is not looking good for him.
Well, he stepped down.
He stepped down because he ended up...
Yeah, as of today, he has stepped down from being a mod.
Yeah, because he ended up lying and removing content that didn't need to be removed.
But the thing is, Reddit's terms of service are the mods. You can't enter in any kind of deal or agreement with Riot Games or anything like that. I know there's a big thing because Riot Games has given the mods of Reddit access to this IRC channel.
Yeah.
And
they had to sign NDAs.
Yeah, and they weren't required to sign NDAs, but they were kind of like leveraged into it, I guess, by the other mods. It's kind of like, oh, you're not going to sign it? So it's a really dicey situation. And that Richard Lewis, who again, I mean, I have no love for because of his attitude, but the dude, when he's on, he's on. I mean, his facts are straightforward.
He did his research. I mean, he did the legwork here, and that's good stuff. And people are not, people are jumping all over him about it, and he's seen a serious amount of hate for, doing his job. For actually doing his job right this time.
Yeah, I mean, the guy did his job, and I mean, the amount, his Twitter is, if you want a good laugh, check out Richard Lewis's Twitter, because he retweets all of these ridiculous hate things that he gets. They're kind of humorous. Yeah. I give him credit because the guy does get a lot of hate, and I mean, he does.
He's got a pretty thick skin.
You have to as a journalist, but it's I mean, this whole what the fast thing. I know Voyboy had to do damage control.
Yeah. So what happened with that was, as Narcissus was talking to the mods, they were saying that there's a witch hunt and all this jazz, and then they ended up finding out that the mods had free subscriptions to What the Fast, and that some people sponsored by What the Fast were petitioning the mods to remove the video. And that's kind of where the whole, controversy happens. So What the Fast is actively, adjusting the moderator's opinion of content that doesn't actually go against the rules or any etiquette, and then getting stuff removed. So it's kind of a clear censorship that's happening. And this all came out as Voyboy was the person that was sponsored by What the Fast to petition the mod to get it down.
It's...
Which is kind of like, oh no, Voyboy, he's like, man of the people. People aren't happy about that.
Yeah, no, not anymore. Yeah. No, people are looking, kind of cockeyed now at Voyboy with this, because it's kind of like, the thing is with these pros is they're not baseball players, they're not football players, they're not basketball players, they're not making crazy, ridiculous, we'll never see it money. A lot of them make nice livings, very nice livings. Yeah, I mean the big ones can make really good money, but the fact is, your average pro, which I think Voyboy, I wouldn't say was a superior player. He was a nice player in his time.
He was good.
Yeah, he was very good.
Kind of part of the old guard.
Yeah, exactly. He was part of that, season 2, season 1-ish, season 2, early season 3 type guys, kind of paving the way. But, you look at these guys, and the big thing is that, they're one of us. Or you hope to believe that you can believe that, what? They, they're reading the same Reddit posts.
Right.
They're the same guys that we are, and the same bullshit that we don't want to deal with, they don't want to deal with.
Right.
And this sort of changes the game a little bit, because you have a guy
he was
backing something.
Yeah.
That's
he was
a
sponsored
bogus.
by What the Fast.
Yeah.
Not a good app, and you kind of want to trust these people because they're just like you.
Exactly, and you want to know what? If someone puts their seal of approval on something, you're like, you want to know what? If it's good enough for Voyboy, it's good enough for me. If he trusts it, why shouldn't I trust it? We're all league players here. Why would you steer me in the wrong direction?
Right, and these are people that you've probably been watching for 3 or 4 years.
It's supporting essentially by watching them. You're supporting their life by watching their streams, and you kind of feel like. Well, not just that. It makes you feel shitty that you kind of been lied to, and that this guy is, just another corporate shill.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
for lack of a better word.
That's a bit strong, but yeah.
It is a bit strong, but this is a situation that should be considered a bit strong, because, this is a young community.
My favorite part about this whole thing was, after all this came out, Korean Terran, the moderator in question here, started denying everything. Deny. And then people were literally just linking the article to him that has screen caps of his conversations.
Of his comments,
saying exactly the opposite. Like, look, here's a picture of you saying that you did this. It's like, no, I didn't do that. Okay.
Yeah,
great.
Well, says you did.
Yeah. There's
a
Skype
liar.
conversations, there's Reddit messages, there's PMs. I mean, it couldn't be a tighter case.
Right.
Yeah.
And
so What the Fast has been removed from Steam.
Good.
For violating TOS. Korean Terran has stepped down as a moderator for being a shitty moderator.
And I think he was just made a new mod, because I know that the league subreddit was interviewing new moderators.
One of the new ones?
I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that.
I don't pay attention to the moderators.
I don't really know who all of the moderators are. Yeah. But if he is, then he let power get to his head pretty quick.
That happens. It's a lot of power.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Conversations.
No, I agree. In a big subreddit. I mean, the League subreddit is one of the largest. It's the largest gaming subreddit.
Bigger than our gaming. It's 8 million readers. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's.
Oh wait, that's funny. I'm sorry. League of Legends is 662,000 readers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
A lot of people.
Constantly checking it.
Yeah, it's an ever evolving subreddit. So that's a lot of power to have. But yeah, so that's your what the fast situation. I for one in this situation, I agree with Richard Lewis.
Yeah, the one time.
Yeah,
one time I actually agree with him.
I throw my hat. I throw my hat on his side of the fence.
Yeah.
And I say, well done, Richard Lewis. I appreciate your conviction in this situation.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't make me an asshole.
Yeah. Also, don't be an asshole about it.
Don't be an asshole, but don't make me the asshole for agreeing with you.
Right.
So let's lighten the load a little bit. That was some heavy. I mean, that's as heavy as League gets.
Pretty much.
Which isn't that heavy.
Well,
which isn't that heavy.
There have been heavier situations.
No, I know.
The whole Phantom Lord thing.
Spectate Faker.
Spectate Faker Gate.
Oh man, Spectate Faker Gate.
Do we want to talk about that, or is that too dated?
I think that's a little old. I just thought it was hilarious.
We can say that the CEO of Riot Games handled that very poorly.
Very poorly. I think the best thing to come out of Spectate Faker was Spectate Rito.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know, some guy made a Spectate channel on Twitch which spectates Riot employees' games.
That's amazing. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, Spectate Rito. And it goes through all these different, there's probably 30 or 40 people.
To sub to that.
It's pretty great. I don't know if it's still on, if they managed to shut it down, but for a while it was running, and you could see and it was, from the most important to the nobody, Riot employee, and I know people at Riot, and I'm trying to ooh, are they spectating their games?
Yeah.
Can I spectate? It's really, really funny actually. So that was the best thing to come out of Spectate Faker.
Not streaming now. I don't think it's up anymore. It only has 35 followers.
Yeah, it might not be up anymore, but that was the best thing at the time to come out of it.
That's the best thing ever.
It's pretty great.
The pie in the face for them.
Oh my god, that was beautiful though.
Yeah.
The guy who did that, I wish I knew who it was, because it's pretty. It's well, if you can't spectate Faker, spectate Rito.
Right, that's amazing.
Good on him.
Yeah, they deserve
so let's shift gears a little bit.
Segue. Insert clever segue here.
Right, here we go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna pretend. Pause like it was there. And here we go into.
So funny. You're so clever,
segue, right?
So clever.
I try, Pan. I try. The tank meta. The return of the tank meta.
It's my favorite.
Tank junglers, tank supports, tank ADCs. Everyone's a tank. No.
Right now, the team with the most tanks wins.
It really is. So Cinder Hulk.
Yeah.
Was it 5.5 was added?
5.5.
Right?
Yeah.
5.5, or was it 5.4?
5.5.
5.5. Okay. 5.5. The Cinder Hulk enchant was added as a jungle item, or a jungle enchant, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, it's like a Sunfire cape that works in the jungle, pretty much.
Yes.
It turns on when you aggro monsters. It turns off when you're done aggroing it.
Yes.
And it's pretty small. It's hard. It's a cheap build path too, so it's actually efficient for junglers to get it, and it's actually more efficient than Sunfire cape.
And it makes you pretty burly early on.
Yeah. So the way it works is it gives you 25% bonus health, so it just keeps getting better too. It just kind
on top of 300 flat health, I think.
Yeah.
It's
out of Bami's Cinder. Built out of something.
Yeah, Bami. I think Bami Cinder, and then something else, some other stuff. But it is, it brought the tank meta back.
Yeah.
In a big way. It's
so good.
It's frightening for the ADC myself,
because
the all-in ADC. Now we have a. We have to now not be there. We have to kind of back it off. The back of the the hype man ADC is back. The guy who stands behind his wall of tanks, and it's like, I'm gonna kick your ass. or the fight starts and he kind of sneaks in, and like shoots and runs away, so nobody knows.
Comes around the outside.
Yeah, that's the new kind of way, because just these tank walls, between the tank top lane, and then you got your Sejuani in the jungle, you got your Maokai, in top lane. You have your
Leona,
Thresh,
your
Leona, your Nautilus, support, and you just have this massive wall in front of you, and it's
good.
And if the other team doesn't do it, it just steamrolls you.
You win the team fight because your AD carry stays alive longer than their AD carry.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's my dad is has a better job than your dad.
My dad can beat up your dad.
Yeah. It's. I don't love the tank meta, but I think it does create some issue because there are ways around it. Let's be fair.
You can beat it with positioning.
You can also beat it maybe with Juggermaw.
Yeah, that's also one of my favorite comps.
Oh, Juggermaw! See, as an ADC, being able to play Juggermaw, it's like
feels good.
It's the most fulfilling thing that an ADC gets to do. Finally, it's all about me.
Can we go over this? You want to break it down?
Oh, we could break it down. Let's
break down the Juggermaw comp and kind of how that's the tank buster.
So your Juggermaw, it starts off obviously with the Cogmaw, which is that is the maw of your Juggermaw.
That's the maw of the Jugger.
He is the linchpin of it. But on top of him, you'd have to go a top lane Lulu. Now,
or mid.
Or mid. Usually
you have a Lulu.
Yeah, Lulu is the other piece.
The other
and it can't be a support Lulu.
No. Well, it can. It doesn't work nearly as well.
It shouldn't be a support Lulu.
It shouldn't be.
Because basically the premise behind Juggermaw is you have all of these buff champions. Like you'll go Lulu top, Jungle Nunu, Kog'Maw ADC, Janna or Nami bot lane support, and a mid lane. Really, you can kind of go anyone with mid lane. I've seen it done with a lot of different people.
A lot of people like Zed.
Zed is nice. If you want to go full crazy,
it allows you to 4v5 and then have a Zed split push, so it's pretty well-rounded.
If you want to go a crazy Juggernaut comp, I've seen Orianna's come in because her ult makes Kog'Maw's ult like ridiculous. If you can get enough people in it, he just rains just hell upon top of you with his ult.
Yeah.
So basically, the concept of it is behind you have all these buff champions, and you group up. And everyone throws their shit on Kog'Maw, who now becomes the ADC tank.
Yeah.
Everyone stands behind him, giving the finger to the other team, while Kog'Maw runs you over and laughs at you and spits at you and kills you very quickly.
And with the Lulu, it's not a regular-sized Kog'Maw; it's a big one.
It's a giant Kog'Maw.
It's a giant Kog'Maw.
It's like a Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade blimp coming at you, but it's full of death.
Yeah.
It's full of horror, and he just the horror. It is a beautiful thing. It is by far one of the best things to come out of the meta in a very long time. There hasn't been a lot of those comps. I mean, that is like a protect the double lift comp if I've ever heard of one.
You know who started it?
Was it double lift?
No, I don't. Tigers.
Oh,
yeah,
that should make sense.
Prey, man.
That should make sense.
Amazing.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually, now that I see it. But yeah, so tank meta, Cinder Hulk, no more all-in ADCs. It makes life interesting.
Nautilus also got buffed. That's the other part of it.
Yeah, it definitely...
He just got straight up buffed, and it was amazing.
Yeah, but the fact that people are playing him support makes, you get a Sejuani in the jungle, and then you get a Nautilus as support.
They just buffed all the tanks, which is what people were wanting, right? This is what
I guess
Reddit does balance.
I guess it depends on who you ask, because
if you ask the vocal minority, this is what they wanted. So if you're on Reddit and you're complaining that you don't like the tank meta, I mean, you asked for this. This is what you wanted. And by you, I mean the collective you, not you personally.
I think, I would like to see Elise come back as a jungler, like a viable one. She's not.
I don't.
I kind of miss her a little bit. No, it's not weird. To each their own. To each their own. I think I liked her. I thought she was fun. I think that they gutted her as a useful character. She can't do anything.
They really overnerfed her.
She is unplayable in her current
any
state.
role.
Yeah.
I like to see her as a top laner, honestly.
Yeah,
I think she'd be a good top laner.
Not even that I miss her as a jungler per se. I miss her as a champion.
Yeah.
She's just useless.
Not
and that's
good.
that's a shame because she was a lot of fun.
When they developed her, they overloaded her kit with percentage damage. I think that's the problem. It was neat on paper where your human Q would do percentage current health and your spider Q would do percentage missing health.
Mm-hmm.
You could get this really great combo of human form skills and spider form skills and then get a kill. The problem is you can't tune that. You can take away all the base numbers and you're always doing percentage health.
Yeah, percent health is still percent health.
You just have to get penetration.
Pretty much, but
if she gets a tiny nerf, she could be the tank buster we all need.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I would like to. I think it'd be nice to see her kind of get a little love again. Not even that I'm a person that played her often because I don't, but I just enjoyed her being around. Yeah. Just I like her scent, I like her musk. I miss her being around. After we do this, maybe me and her should get an apartment somewhere.
Gross. She doesn't even have feet.
Wait, she does in human form.
No, they're like pointy.
Whatever. I don't like feet, so it's a match made in heaven.
Oh, that's good. But you don't like spiders either.
That's true. But I love Spider-Man.
You guys are star-crossed lovers, man. You can't make that work.
From two different worlds.
You hate feet. You hate spiders. You just can't. You can only really get one.
It'll never work. It'll never work. Where alas, we are destined to walk the earth away from each other.
Yeah, that's sad.
It is sad. It's a sad time. But that's I mean, what else do we got?
You want to talk about Brad?
Oh,
what's our time? Should we hold on for the Brad till he comes back? Because he's pretty nerf right. He's always disabled. How much time do we have left?
I don't know. I think it's too much time to talk about Brad.
We should probably start to wrap it up. Let's do a little YOLO Q advice, and then we'll sign off.
Okay, I like it. You know what? We'll leave them wanting.
What's your YOLO Q advice? What do you got from Bronze 1?
From Bronze 2 to Bronze 1, my YOLO Q... Oh, God. Look on Reddit, you'll see all of this advice. My advice to you is when he's available, don't play Bard. Dude, my advice, if you want to make your ADC and the rest of your team happy, when they re-enable him, don't play him. Because in solo queue, you can't converse with your team enough to make him good. Otherwise, you're just throwing shit on people and you're pissing the whole team off. So my advice to you, if you're going to play a support and you want to play Bard, ask everybody if they're okay with it. And then, even if they say yes, think about it. Should you really do it in solo queue?
Probably not.
That's my advice from high bronze to you. Just take it for what it is, and I'll see you on the Rift.
That's good. I like it. From low gold, play tanks, go ham. All day long.
Love
I don't care if you want to play Braum, or if you want to play Leona, or if you want to play Nautilus, or if you want to, play Thresh and build them super tanky. Play tanks, and then get in their face.
I think if you're going to go ham, commit to the ham.
Oh, absolutely commit to the ham. Yeah.
Don't go half-ass ham. No ham-ass.
No. If you get the opportunity, get on their ADC or their mid lane carry and engage them, and then let your team do the rest. And then hopefully that works. And if it doesn't, you can always play another game.
So, from all of us to all of you, thanks for being part of Tower Dive, the first one in the books. Clap it up. Let's get it up. I mean, we got the first one in the books. I think I feel good about it.
I feel good too.
Yeah, this is probably going to be... We're going to try to make this a weekly thing.
Weekly, maybe bi-weekly, we'll see.
Maybe bi-weekly, depending on how busy. Listen, if something crazy happens...
We can always do a quick one, too. We can always do a quick one-off.
Yeah, absolutely. If there's something that requires our attention, we will absolutely jump on it. Thanks for listening. We have a Twitch. It's twitch.tv/TowerDivePC.
It'll be all on the page.
We'll have links to all of it. We have a whole bunch of stuff. Just look for the links. We're not going to bog you down with reading a bunch of things.
Or commercials.
Yeah, or commercials, because nobody wants to support us yet.
Yeah, right.
But that could all change because of you.
With the help of you, dear viewers.
With the help of you, the listener, you can help us make this dream a reality.
Yep.
Again, thank you guys so much. From Tower Dive, I am Captain Hooks.
I'm Panda Man.
And we'll see you on the Rift.
Bye-bye.